Long podcast, man. I'm happy to be back here for another episode. I told you guys, we going stronger and longer, fam. All right. So make sure you subscribe, man, whatever. If not subscribe, just watch enough. All right. Just watch enough, man. Watch 10 videos here on this channel, man. It's your boy Kenyon Long in the building, man. We got a special guest, all right, on the Kenyon Long show. We got one of Canadians. We got Canada's own. All right, we got a Canada Dry. Okay, all right, a Canada Dry drinker. Okay, a poutine eater. You know what I'm saying? If you're nasty. All right, we got my ace. All right, my guy here, stand-up comedian, imported from Canada here with love. All right, we got my guy Chili in the building, my guy Chili.
Woo!
What's cracking, man? What's good?
Wow. Sit down. You're too excited to see me.
This dude is, you're not on stage, bro. You're not on stage.
What? It said, the program said you're backstage now, so I thought I was entering the stage, whatever app we're using to record this podcast.
That's right. I'll put you in the green room, you know what I mean? And now you in the mean room, all right?
Yeah, the Cheez-Its that I ordered for the green room was there.
Yeah. Yo, man. This I'm glad to have you on the podcast. You know what I mean? Chill dog. You know, I thought about this. Man, you know, I saw your name. Your last name is James. Is that correct?
That's my middle name.
Your middle name is James. Okay, cool. I can still work with that. Because, you know, I'm a rapper, and I just thought, man, your last name is James. Your first name is Chili, allegedly. I'm just like, yo, you instead of Trinidad James, hear me out. Your rap name's going to be Chili Dad James. Let's go. Chili Dad James, all right? Now, I'm pretty sure you don't know who Trinidad James is. All right, you're young, but he had a hit. He's from Atlanta. He had one song that took off that was viral, all right? And your boy Drake tried to jump on it, okay?
Trinidad James,
man. You know what I mean? Just watch, all right? It's literally, people know what I'm talking about. He actually literally like worked at a department store, and he was, he dressed kind of funny. Let's just say that. He dressed kind of funny, but glad to have you on the show, man. And,
glad to be here.
Met you doing improv, which is a weird thing right now. There's been a couple of comedians sneaking up in improv. And I'm just trying to figure out what, are you doing stand-up? Which one is you?
So I did a bunch of improv in high school. I did the Second City program. But I also, weirdly enough, the first time I did stand-up was in like 4th grade. They had like a medieval times potluck. Yeah.
What?
We had medieval times.
You doing? See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all Canadians, man. You doing Second City in high school. You doing stand up in freaking 4th grade.
Yeah, the teacher was like, we have a medieval times potluck, and I was like, can I bring chips? And she said, Chili, you should be more creative than that. So I was like, can I do stand up? And bear in mind, I really hadn't seen that much stand up before. I'd seen Seinfeld, and I had one Carlin album. That's it. Those are the only things. And I just seen the show Seinfeld, not like, so that the clip of him doing stand-up at the beginning of the show. So I just wrote down a bunch of topics on a piece of paper, and I actually like had the Seinfeld theme burned onto a CD, and I had someone like play the music during my set. Like, hey guys, what's the deal with the bank? Like these lines and no one's like, I don't know what a bank is. So it was bad. So I stopped doing stand-up for a long time. Did a bunch of improv in high school. Was like, all my heroes went to Second City. I want to go to Second City. And then I went to college for comedy, if you can believe it or not. There's a comedy writing and performance program just outside of Toronto. They teach you everything. And the improv experience I had there was so. The teachers didn't let you do a lot of improv. So I was like, I guess I don't really like improv. I really just want to do stand-up. So I did stand-up for like 2 straight years. And then I got linked up with a school called Bad Dog in Toronto. And I fell in love with improv. And it's my first love. And it's like basically what I love to do the most. And if you said I'll pay you $1 million to do stand-up or improv, I would say I'll do improv.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was a lot. That was a lot to take in, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a long version.
clearly your first love was stand-up, all right? You just sucked at it. But why was you judging yourself so hard? You compared yourself to Seinfeld. Why? What's going on in the cafeteria? I mean, they got pizza. The shape, I don't know what y'all have in a Canadian
I had
cafeteria.
no written material. I just riffed. That was it. That was just literally riffed, which is funny because later on I went into a program where we actually taught kids how to do stand-up. And it was a lot different. I was like, oh, I wish I had this, because we actually like have kids like draw on their own lives and show like personal experiences and like how to like. But whereas I was just like riffing, I was like, hey, you guys seen maps? There's all these like squiggly lines. Like, how am I supposed to figure out where I'm going? Because they're like, what the hell is a map? My teacher's like, yikes.
Yeah.
They're all fake laughing.
Oh, that's the worst. The worst is you coming up in school. I wasn't a class clown. I was like right under the class count. You know what I mean? Like I'm dropping jokes in class like once a month type of thing. Cause I didn't want to like get in trouble with my parents, you know, but I would drop a joke once and the class would laugh type of thing, but I wasn't doing that shit every day. Right. But it's the worst when somebody, you say something like in class, I'm like, you be like, all right, man. It took too much effort for you to fake laugh. It just takes a lot of energy for you to fake laugh.
Yeah. And it's so clear that you're fake laughing.
Just like how you just did. Okay, so you came here. Why did you? People are trying to move to Canada. For me, I've been trying to go to Canada. I'm trying to move to Canada. I want to go Abba and preach. Right? You know them. Okay. One of them's Canadian. One is from America. He just moved to Canada. But he was
I don't know who that is.
They're one of the biggest YouTubers, Abba and Preach, man. All right. And these guys are Canadian, or at least one of them. I'm just saying, people are so like, look, for me, I just want to go, and I don't know why. I just want to go and film. Every summer, I want to like go to Canada for like a month and just film with Canadians.
You should do that. You should move to Canada.
Well, you guys are. I went to Canada once. All right. I had a movie I shot in Montreal, and it was a horror movie. Okay. It's the first time I ever got on a plane.
Let me tell you, driving in Montreal is sort of like a horror movie.
Well, it reminded me of North Carolina. Like, I didn't expect all that green. I was like, okay, this is not snow covered everywhere. This is in the summer, so I don't know the seasons.
What, you thought there was going to be snow in the summer?
Yeah, I didn't know. Hey, look, man.
That is so funny.
We only know when we haven't been to a place, just like you, right? If you never been to LA, right? So we're both in LA, and you ain't never been to LA, you're only, just like your stand-up, your only point of reference is what you seen on TV. You thought stand-up was Jerry Seinfeld. Like, look, he's a great comedian, right? But that's not all stand-up, okay? Yeah. But just like, for me, Canada is whatever. I mean, I ain't watching Canadian shows like that. So it's whatever I seen on TV. Canada got snow is all I know.
Toronto gets the extremes. We're like cold for like 8 months and then so hot for like 3 months, right? Like it actually gets hotter mostly in Toronto than it does in Los Angeles. Most of the time. There's more humidity up there, right? There's not the humidity you get down here. There was a heat wave for a couple of weeks when I first came here, which was like pretty brutal. But outside of that, it's actually way more temperate here because you don't get the humidity down here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm from the South, so, you know, North Carolina, we get that humidity. I don't think Montreal was it was hot, though. In the summer, we was in the woods.
Yeah.
You know,
Montreal's pretty similar.
You filming a freaking horror
and you were
movie.
like, we expected all the snow for the movie. We got to make fake snow now.
I ain't know. We was at a lake and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if it's Montreal mosquitoes, but maybe it's Canadian mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I need you. Canadian mosquitoes.
Those are bad.
I was on set for 13 hours a day, bro. I was using off, and some guy who from Canada looked at me and laughed. He said, "Oh, why are you using that?" I was like, "Oh, it's off, man. You know, I had a couple mosquito bites." He said, "Oh, no. You need to be using this. What's in this black can? It is a black can, a black ass can, with nothing on it." And he's like, "You need to be using this." My head, after 13 hours, my head felt like a Nestle Crunch. It was just bumps all over.
Yeah. There's like 2 months where it gets really hot, and they attack. They love that juice. They love the juice.
Apparently they love black juice. What I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, Drake, you done came here now. Drake done came here now. I'm like, dude, Drake, you got a mega mansion in Canada. Why are you coming here? All right.
Yeah, I also had a mega mansion in Canada.
I know. You guys have free health.
Bridle Path. That's where he lived. The Bridle Path.
That's where. Oh, so that's in Canada. I never know these. Yeah. I only know the Calabasas stuff he says, right? 3 a.m. in Calabasas. I never know the other streets he mentions in songs, the name songs after.
He had a big house. So, why would I come? Because I can. First of all, I'm a dual citizen. United States.
Oh, you're a dual citizen?
I pledge allegiance to the flag in the United States.
Wow.
They made me say that was they're like, so this is your number one country. It's so fishy when I got it. They're like, you have to renounce so many people.
That's
like,
right.
Renounce. You don't have to renounce your
Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
We waited until Bush was out of office so that we couldn't get drafted into the war. That was the fear. My mom was like, when Obama becomes president, you can become a dual citizen. But I got my citizenship, and you can work here, which is like most artists, they get kicked out after like 6 months or whatever.
Right.
And there's the industry, it's like slowly growing, but it's really, really small. We only have one network that creates original content. That's the CBC, and everything else is like, and it's called the Canadian Broadcasting System, and it's publicly funded. So what they can put on there is like, there's certain rules and restrictions and things like that. Every other network essentially just carries American shows,
which is weird.
Global, like all this stuff. So the percentage of money that goes to original content is like so few. CTV used to create a lot more original content. I'm pretty sure SCTV originally aired on CTV, if I'm not wrong. And shows make it up to Canada all the time. Shows don't make it down. There's like maybe 5 or 6 shows in the entire history of Canadian television that have made it down here. You know, SCTV, Kids in the Hall, Trailer Park Boys, Schitt's Creek. Very few. Degrassi. I mean, it originally aired down here as well on Pop TV, and then they moved it to a bigger network. So that was like part of the deal there. And then Americans were never going to cancel it, so Canadians were going to cancel it because they love to cancel good stuff.
But Degrassi is you guys' show, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Aubrey was on that show.
Right. Well, I watched it of course, I'm longer in the tooth than you are. So was forced to watch Degrassi in high school?
Forced to.
Middle school. Yeah. It was like we put Degrassi on. Like they show like life lessons. This is
right. We did that with, what was that other one called? My So-Called Life.
Oh, really? One? Oh, it was like MTV.
We watched one of those.
Yeah.
Was it Claire Danes? Was that who it was in that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's so
weird
weird about Canadian television, because I think that you guys have some of the funniest people all come from Canada.
They all come down here, right? Like you'll hear people talk. There's a documentary in Canada that came out a few years ago, and Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall talks a lot about how it's just like everybody has to move down here. Like we want to make things in Canada. The one of the things that I want to do is like get some mid-level, like just roles and stuff, and then take that clout back to Canada and create a show like Catherine Reitman did, Evan Reitman's daughter, and she made a really successful Canada show called Working Moms on the CBC. It's like she sort of went that route. Obviously she had a famous dad as well, but she came down here and got a bunch of roles, and then CBC was willing to take her calls, right? And I know some friends who are working down here who are a few years ahead of me working on shows who are only now starting to get meetings and people listening to them because they have some American clout from Netflix shows and stuff like that.
What's the guy's name? What's his name? Gary D, right?
Busey? Oh, Jerry D.
No, not Jerry D. Mr. D?
Yeah, his name is Jerry D in real life, and the show's called Mr.
Jerry?
D.
Yeah.
So he lived in my neighborhood when I was
really?
Yeah, I saw him walking out of Mastermind Toys once.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and my friend Mark was on his show for a while, and Mark left the show, but
and then you just couldn't You just couldn't finesse your way on the show, huh?
I couldn't get it. Then now he hosts Canadian Family Feud, and it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. And he's in that commercial that airs down here now too, the like betting app one that John Lovitz is also in.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
I think Jerry D's in some of them.
Really?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I'm surprised you know who Jerry D is.
Oh, yeah, only because you know what? Because as you talk about that, that's what I was not really like trying to take it back, but because I'm in America, because I'm an American, you know what I mean? I'm America, damn it. But yeah, just like, okay, I'm gonna be out here in LA. You never know how long you're gonna have that pull, right? So you do get a show. It's like, oh, cool, I got a show, I do 5 years, and then after that, spin and start doing my own thing, right? And then like film, wherever. It don't have to be North Carolina, but we had good tax breaks. We had it till Atlanta stole all the good tax breaks. And film in North Carolina, whatever, in the South. And like you say, just kind of take it back that way and kind of ride the wave. But I'm still waiting for my first break. Hell, I was 6 months ago, I was trying to get a Canadian agent. Thank God I didn't.
What happens a lot is they shoot American shows up in Canada. Right. So you probably heard this, like Toronto's like cheap New York, Vancouver's like cheap Los Angeles. I think they see like Winnipeg's like cheap Seattle sometimes because they look similar enough that you can fake it, right?
Right.
I know New York people bust a gut whenever we say that Toronto's like New York. But and then what they do is you're not necessarily going to get one of those starring roles because they've already cast those. You can get a small role, a bit part in some of those movies. A few people I know have broken into the Hallmark game, who are improvisers who they like. Once you're in it, you're like in a lot of them. Like this, my friend Andrew Bichelle, he's in like seems to be in like every third Hallmark movie now. I'm like, wow, this man is working.
Yo, man, once you get to the Hallmark universe, the multiverse of Hallmark, you know what I mean? You good. You Gucci.
You're good. They'll make the same movie. What's the Williams sisters? They made like the exact same movie 2 years in a row. Kimberly Williams and her sister, like I think it's Allison or something. They made the exact same movie, like back-to-back years, like literally the description is the same. It's the same movie.
Hey man, look, once you get, there's a lot of
just run it back.
There's a lot of shit out there. All right, I don't know if you've been onto the Tubi universe and seen a lot of bad movies. Okay. Also, the first place that I've watched one of my favorite Canadian animations, even though you guys didn't like it, Crash Canyon was a Canadian animation. I don't know. I think I asked you this. You said you never seen it. It's on Tubi though, and it's about a family that falls off a cliff into this canyon, and they there with a bunch of people. There with a bunch of people who fell off the cliff, and they had to learn how to live in this canyon. Crash Canyon. Me and my wife watched it every night. I don't know why. Definitely didn't have cable, but I didn't have Netflix and stuff. But Crash Canyon, I don't know. It's just kind of like wacky animation, kind of weird hijinks. But that's what I like about Canadian comedy. You know what I mean?
When I was growing up, my dad had a cartoon in Canada.
Oh wow!
And so it's like there's people of a certain age that get so excited about it. Like people that are like 27 to like 31 in Canada, they usually know the show and they get like very excited about it. The fact that I'm a nepo baby. My father created Monster by mistake.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is it on Tubi? Is it on Tubi though?
No, it's nowhere. That's one of the goals that I have. If I ever get any clout, is that I'm going to bring it back to a streaming service. I'm going to buy the rights. I'm going to get Netflix or whatever to buy the rights to Monster by mistake because it's nowhere. There's like VHS tapes somewhere, but I think we have them all.
Damn. All right, you already got all the IP in the garage somewhere.
Yeah, we've got them. We just need the network to give them to or whatever. Monster by mistake, man. It's on YouTube. I think someone illegally put it up there. My dad was too lazy to fight it.
Do a copyright strike. Man, that's pretty crazy. What I'm thinking about, you came to LA, you're doing stand up, but I don't really care about that. I care about Canada, and I just need to know. when it comes to Canada, you're the maple. Look, I love a lot of Canadians.
I'm the expert. You have one guy on from Canada,
right,
and you're like, you must represent all Canadians.
You got it
and their
right.
opinions.
Look, I can't. Drake don't live in Cal. I was 20 minutes away from Calabasas. He don't live there no more, and I've never been invited to his house. But
I've said this before, though. Like, I think we have some fun with like improv scene stuff. I'm from Toronto, which is the most Americanized city in Canada. We are so close, maybe an hour and a half from the border. We are like a mix between Chicago and New York. We like have that feel. We have all the sports teams. We're very so the perspective that I would have is very different than like you get some of those more Canadian accents in the maritime provinces like Newfoundland, New Brunswick, PEI. And then there's like the West Coast, like mountains and stuff. I've never even been to BC. I've been as far as Alberta. And then there's the Quebecois who don't even want to be part of the country. So
bonjour, comment allez-vous?
They've wanted to separate since the dawn of age, or like not everyone, but the hardcore extremists, like that's like they have their own party and they're basically like, we want to have our own government. It's been happening since like the 1950s. Like that tells you that Canada is more diverse than you're trying.
I'm just saying, man. Look, once again, I only know about the things that I know about. Look, we got the internet now, but I ain't just sitting here on the internet looking at Canada.
You want your expert? You should just bring me onto the show regularly to ask me questions about Canada.
Yes, the Canadian question of the week. So it's like I haven't been back since I did that movie in Montreal. So hopefully I can get back and film a bunch of stuff with some good tax breaks on somebody else's dime. But what I want to say, look, Tory Lanez is headed back. I just want to know how you feel about that. All right, Tory Lanez, this is the problem here. You Canadians come to my country and then you ruin it by shooting guns, allegedly. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Tory Lanez is about to head his ass back to Canada and be extradited. All right. How are the Canadians feeling right now? You like for shooting Meg Thee Stallion? Allegedly.
Oh,
right?
We were talking about this in a work meeting just now, actually. And
my God. You didn't even know?
I was like nodding my head about it. And I didn't actually know the situation.
Yeah. Literally the biggest Canadian headline in America for the past 4 months. This trial has been going on. And you didn't know a damn thing about it. The Canadian ambassador, guys, right here, Chili.
I'm not the most informed person in the entire world. I know a lot about comedy and I know about basketball and baseball.
I know a lot about Canadian music. All right. My history of Canadian music goes long. Canadian music, Canadian basketball.
Give me some Canadian bands.
So I don't know about bands. All right. I'm going to tell you about rap. Okay. And R&B. All right. I remember, I'm going to tell you, I'm old. All right. And someone made a post on TikTok about this the other day. They tried to like make a meme and I had to correct them. So they made a LimeWire meme and they included some kind of mixtape. I was like, no, back in the LimeWire days, we wasn't downloading that. That didn't exist. I said, but what did exist is the Weeknd House of Balloons. I did download the Weeknd House of Balloons on LimeWire. And the first thing I thought was, why did this fool sound like Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? That's what I remember. So the Weeknd, all right, Tory Lanez. Yeah. One of my favorite Canadian rappers that first started off was Choclair. Okay, Choclair, all right? And he had an
after artist. The Weeknd, you lost me.
Yeah, all right. He had an artist by the name of Cardinal Official, okay? All right, who is on the freaking, what is it? America's Got Talent Canada. I think he's a host and he's on the radio there.
It's just called Canada. It's just called Canada's Got Talent.
All right, Canada's Got Talent. Whatever.
America's Got Talent.
Canada. It's like I don't know what it's called. All right. So you got him, all right, one of the dopest rappers. He just didn't quite take off, but Drake started to acknowledge him when he first came out, and then start doing his own thing. You got the Vancouver Grizzlies. All right, who should still be
the way that Canadian music works, in my opinion, is extremely top heavy. So you've got some incredible bands like The Band, first of all, like The Wait, and if you know any of that stuff, up on Cripple Creek, all that stuff. That's like the best. We've got Randy Bachman. We've got the Bare Naked Ladies. We've got
wait a minute.
Twain.
Wait a minute. Bare Naked Ladies is from Canada?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Damn.
but we always know who's Canadian. We have a complex. We have a very already
I did
complex.
not know. Hey, Bare Nicholas has some bops.
Avril Lavigne, Canadian, Drake. So we've got like top heavy, and then we've got a lot of crap. And also, I always like to bring this up as a random fact is, so we have a Canadian content law in Canada where every third song on the radio has to be Canadian from a Canadian radio station. Rush is also Canadian, the Guess Who. And my grandfather, who worked for Columbia Records, was one of the people that fought for this law to exist. And so now we have a lot of great stuff, but then we also got like Kim Mitchell with Patio Lanterns that gets played on the radio, even though it is one of the worst songs that you'll ever hear. It's my go-to karaoke song. I love it so much. But then you get a lot of people that are famous in Canada who are just not good. But yeah, there's a lot of good, like I named probably most of the, I don't think Guess Who ever made it down here, but everyone else, Sum 41, Canadian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I love Sum 41.
So you said your grandfather worked for look, we're more connected than you know. Your grandfather worked for Columbia Records, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was based in New York?
So he was working for them. I never met him, by the way. He died well before I was born. But he got a job like as a hot, like he's just working. Like he had a very regular job in the States for Columbia Records, and they were living in Pittsburgh at the time. And then he was offered like a much higher position in Canada, so he moved his family up to Canada to work in Columbia Records. Again, this is literally just anything my mom had told me because I never knew him, but. Just some weird facts about like he ended up being high up in Canada because there was less people in Canada to compete with.
Okay, cool. So your grandfather did some work with Columbia Records. When I graduated college, ECU, East Carolina University. When I graduated ECU, I went to do an internship as a young rapper. I went to the internship. My goal was to try to get a record deal, but I just went ahead and took an internship at Sony Urban in New York. All right. At Sony Urban. And upstairs is Columbia Records.
All right. So you were a floor away.
I wasn't allowed, they didn't let us upstairs. I mean, as an intern, some people went upstairs I think I went upstairs once to Columbia Records to get something from them, but they didn't like Sony Urban. I mean, we had Beyonce, we had Exhibit, we had B2K, I believe. John Legend. We had John Legend. We had Nas. All right. But I think Nas is more of a Columbia artist, actually. But yeah, man, Columbia Records, I was right there. You know what I mean? So that's just, you're connected to me, man. You're
connected.
Grandfather, music.
So random.
Legends.
My mom's going to listen to this and be like, you're spouting lies. Just what I can remember.
Stop spouting lies, Chili.
I think what I said is true, but sometimes I remember things wrong.
When it comes to Canada, all right, I just need to know right now, for my brief time that I was there and I got harassed through customs, in a fight, I need to know, who do you think would win? Would it be Tim Hortons breakfast latte or McDonald's?
Did you say breakfast latte? What's a breakfast latte?
All right, so Tim Hortons latte. Let me restructure this. So it could be clipped out. In a fight, who you think would win? Tim Hortons latte or McDonald's coffee? All right. Which one?
I never drink lattes, but I'm a Timmy's guy all the way.
Timmy's. That's the nickname. That's the nickname. Yeah. Timmy's.
I love me some Timmy's. Named after a great hockey player.
Is it?
Tim Hortons. And
I didn't know. I didn't know, man.
So then we have Tim Bits. You know about Tim Bits?
No. Is that short for bitch? Tim Bits. Is that his bitch he had as a hockey player?
So they call them donut holes down here, which makes no sense. But in Canada, we call them Tim Bits.
Oh, those. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I saw it on the menu. I was like, Bits? What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's donut holes.
Wow. Okay. I did.
But I love Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is a nice bridge of like cheap, but also quality, in my opinion. Like I think it's like Dunkin' Donuts might be the best equivalent, but I don't know. I haven't had that much Dunkin', but I think that like Tim's is just a touch better, and it's like the same price. I think there's maybe 5 or
What's the
10 Tim Hortons all across the states.
But what's the slogan for Tim Hortons? You know what I mean? Like Dunkin' Donuts got a good one though. The world runs on Dunkin'. When they came up with that, I was like, oh, okay, all right.
I think it's like always fresh. Tim Hortons. I'm looking it up right now. It's
I'm
like
gonna look it up.
fresh.
What is Tim Hortons' slogan? I don't know. Let's see. I don't want to give a damn about a mission.
It's just always fresh. That is your friend
so
along the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's an old one. That's an old one.
But they need to bring that back. Your friend along the way. That's dope. Because
we have
you're thinking about driving to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a friend along the way. We have like the roll up the rim to win, which is like a big thing, which has kind of got ruined now with apps because that apps ruin all these like things. But it's sort of like McDonald's Monopoly, but there's like a roll up to win season, and you would drink your cup of coffee or your hot chocolate or whatever, and you'd roll up the thing, and there would be like you win, and you could win anything from like another free coffee to a donut to a car to a vacation.
Oh, okay, yeah,
like
so just like a McDonald's Monopoly.
And I remember when I was a kid, there was like a big controversy that a kid threw out his cup, the teacher threw out a cup, and a kid found it, and there was like a lawsuit between and there was like a free car or something like that, and there was a lawsuit between who gets the car.
Oh wow, that's great. Did you ever? And we speaking of Monopoly, man. I'm gonna tell you something. You ever watch that documentary about the McDonald's Monopoly that came out last year?
No, where is it? Netflix?
I think that is on Hulu.
Tubi?
No, it damn sure ain't on Tubi. It's a bunch of ratchet shit. No, it's not, man. It's a bunch of ratchet.
But Tubi has like things like the Pink Panther movies, which don't exist anywhere else.
Okay.
But that's not original Tubi content. Like, there's no good original Tubi content.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. But people are going. They
have some good old stuff there that you can get for free.
But in this, I'm looking at a McDonald's Monopoly scam. There we go, Monopoly scam documentary. Damn, where is it at though? Oh, HBO. McMillions? Is that it? 6-part, yeah, McMillions. You need to watch it, man. As a kid, man, we was in high school at that point. We was in high school, and I'm gonna share it. You check it out. Boom, there you go, right there. McMillions.
Yeah,
this documentary pissed me the hell off. I think we was deep in the pandemic too, and I watched this. I couldn't believe it, man. Because in high school, we was up here trying to get this Monopoly money, get these tickets, man. And so, we wasn't going to McDonald's every damn day, but we was going, and you like, oh yeah, save your Monopoly piece, save it. You ask your cousins and stuff like, hey, you got a Monopoly piece. And then we even thought like, because we was like, we got to be like, at a certain point, this game kept going. So we was like seniors in high school. We started driving. We're like, yo, man, let's drive to Virginia. I heard that they keep Park Place in a different state. So one time we didn't like specifically go for that. We went for girls, but also while we were there, like, yo, let's go to McDonald's and get some Monopoly pieces. You know what I'm saying? So we just thought that, yo, let's do it. And when I watched the documentary, man, and I saw that the mob, spoiler alert, the mob was involved with this, I couldn't believe it, man.
That's what? Do they still do it now, or did this end it?
Nah, man. Well, actually, you know what? They do Monopoly, but if you see it, you don't have a Pavilions. It's at the grocery store now. So it's at Pavilions.
Right.
It's at Albertsons.
Okay.
Yeah, Albertsons grocery store, but I don't think you have one near you. But if you see an Albertsons, they usually bring it back. Because I remember I was living in Santa Clarita.
They'll bring you back and
I was living in Santa Clarita, man, and I went in the summertime. And usually it came out in the summertime too. So I remember like a couple of years ago, it's like 2017, and I went to the grocery store. I looked down, and the lady was like, "Oh, would you like your Monopoly piece?" And I just looked at her like, "What?" Monopoly's at the grocery store? You know what I mean? Like how McDonald's lose this contract? How did they lose it? I was like, man, you know what? Forget it. No, I don't want a Monopoly game, ma'am, or my groceries.
Get out of here.
Do you eat eggs? You know what's going on with the egg crisis in America? This is stuff
yeah, I eat eggs.
Do you understand the egg crisis going on right now? The eggs are high as hell, right?
Now I have egg on my face.
They are high. Yeah. Eggs are high as hell right now. It is. Everybody's doing egg skits. I haven't done one yet. Maybe we should do one. That'd be good for you.
Eggs are high as hell? What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
In cost. I'm sorry. In cost. Oh. Eggs are $6.
I thought you meant like they're putting
there's no weed
in the eggs.
Yeah. There's a little THC in these eggs. You know, everybody's getting lifted. No, man. No, the price of eggs have gone up to where it's like a single pack costs like $6. A double pack, a jumbo pack costs like $12. What it used to be like $3 for a single. So everybody's like, yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like Canadian chickens would be cheaper. You know, I don't know if y'all got chickens up there.
I just love these assumptions you made. Like, yeah, we have farms. Like, it's just such a ridiculous. We don't have to ship in our chickens like all the time. Like, it is ridiculous what you think of Canada. I am working on a new bit right now. How Canadians are like equally as offended when you don't know something about us, but then when you say like you try to say like like a Target or something, but we're also like, we don't have Target. We're a different country. We're an autonomous country. Like then we'll be like, we're autonomous. You know, we have our own government. Like we'll get all like, and then you'd be like, do you all have McDonald's up there? I'm like, yes. We're not that different than you are. Like we're also offended when you say that we like wouldn't have the same thing.
Oh man, that's hilarious. No, I like that. I can't wait till you finish off that product. We have another thing in the news, and we want to get the great comedian, young up and coming comedian Chili. Eminem has announced that they are doing away. I know there's M&Ms in Canada. They are doing away with the talking Eminem characters. And Maya Rudolph is just going to be the spokesperson, just the spokesperson. They're not doing any more spokes candies. Yeah. They've been doing spokes candies
since the dawn of time.
Since the 90s.
It's because the green M&M is too hot?
I don't know. They said something about, they changed. Remember last year they changed some shoes on the M&M, the green M&M maybe, to make it be more gender neutral. Right. Like they changed the shoes on it. And so now it's just like they said in their statement that they didn't know that it would cause, all the things, the changes that they made would cause an infinite amount. I'm paraphrasing here, of controversies. And so they're like, you know what? Forget it. We're going to scrap the M&M spokes candies, man. Like they work at one of these amusement parks. I forgot, but like the spokes candy, man. So what do you think about that? Like, should the spokes candies be unemployed? It's hard, right? We in a baby recession in America.
The spokes candy. What's it? Who did they? Oh, they killed Mr. Peanut a few years ago, right?
Yeah, rest in peace to Mr. Peanut. Right.
I can't wait for the commercial where they kill the M&M's characters.
You over to the side. Get over to the side. Get over there you go. All right.
You don't like to see half my face?
Yeah, no.
Now we're gonna have that commercial where they kill the M&M's characters, right? We can't wait for the I don't know. I know there's a big controversy about like, is the green M&M was it too hot, right? Or was it the red M&M?
It's the green M&M.
Right?
You got that.
Yeah. And then they went back and forth. I don't know. Look, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't give too much of a damn that I care about. It's one of those things where I feel like people get upset about stuff that literally does not matter in the world. And so it's like, and then they try.
Here's your bae right there, Miss Green M&M.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at the legs on that one.
You're gonna get me too hot on this podcast. That's not fair. Yeah, I mean, Maya Rudolph is hilarious, and so I can't wait to see what she does for them. But I don't know what was the big concern. They were concerned about the gender of the Eminem characters. It's like, well, you could introduce a new character that also we could have just taken. Yeah, I don't know. We could have the characters be gender neutral. Why do we even need to put a gender on the Eminem's characters?
I think because it started off in America, in the United States of America. You had two Eminems back in the day. You had
when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a
one
kid.
had a penis and one had a vagina, and we fucked them. Oh, the correct ones,
right? Oh my God. But you man, like you had the yellow and the other guy, and you had the yellow one was a dumb one. How come no dumb people? Parents, because this is parents, right? And this is Karens, really. Karens is
you need dumb people for comedy. That's how comedy works.
Why you got the dumb
curly?
My favorite Eminem is the peanut Eminem. All right. And why is my favorite the dumb one? Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Because you're dumb. I guess that's what they're saying is that if you eat peanut M&Ms, you ain't too bright.
Right. I guess. I mean, shouts out to the C students out there. You know what I mean? Maybe I identify with him.
Applied I think he's science.
The peanut M&M's a C student. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. No, I think I was in love with Maya Rudolph. And so I love Maya Rudolph. Never met her. But I just think that, man, it's when you create a character, like I always want to do an animation. So I got to really hurry up and my time is running out. I really got to hurry up and get famous. I always want to do animation. And I just like, when you create a character like that, it's just like, you can do infinite amount of things. I know you're too young to know who Redman is, right? You know Redman? Method Man and Redman?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Redman
from Wu-Tang, like Method Man?
Well, your Method Man, yes, but Redman is not in Wu-Tang, but he became an unofficial member or whatever. They just did that like last couple of years. But anyway, here's the story is that Redman, he had created this little character of him. It was just a caricature of him. And he put it on the cover of his album. And this is back in 2000, right when Cardinal Official was still on the radio in Canada. All right. And so he created this character just for the album. That's it. That's all. And this character was in a music video with him. But then he started doing shows with the character on stage, right? Where the Redman character got a blunt in his mouth or whatever, had a hat down low. And I remember I went to go see Redman in concert. There was a bunch of other people there. And I remember I went to an after party. It wasn't his party. It was just an after party. Somebody just randomly threw it in my area. And I go to the bathroom and Redman's character is in the bathroom taking a piss right beside me.
What the hell? So I'm just looking this up now. So someone dressed up as this little character?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like this is the thing we're talking about here?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Him. Yes.
So exactly. He had like a kid or
no. He was an adult. He was an adult because I think he was drunk or high or both. And
could you imagine having that job? Imagine you were that character.
Oh my God. And Redman was. Let's keep in mind, Redman was not at the club. It was just his character there. Just like, what are you doing here, bro? I'm taking a piss. Like, bro, what are you doing here? You just here. But look, when you create a character, man, you can put that character everywhere. Homer Simpson, Marge, and Bart at Universal. Okay, chilling. All right. Nintendo World drops next month. All right. And I didn't seen the video. I ain't no influencer, so I didn't get the invite. But Mario and Yoshi and all they're gonna be at Universal, man. And so when you create a character, man, you can just put that character all over the world.
Right.
Even taking the piss, you can put him in Canada right now. You can have him be on Mountie.
Yeah, you can put him anywhere. You can even put him in Canada.
Deli, shouts out to
you think that like the US is more similar to fucking Russia than you think Canada is.
No, I only know. Look, man, I told you I know a lot of Canadian stuff. But what I'm saying is you don't get opened up until you
Build a
get to go
character.
there, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
I want to go to I didn't get a chance to go to Toronto, but I'm gonna tell you my first Canadian character. We were talking about character. See, I'm in America. I'm from North Carolina. All right. I'm from North Carolina, small city, High Point, North Carolina. But guess who the first character as a kid I saw from Canada? All right. It was Dudley Do-Right.
That Brendan Fraser.
Not the Brendan Fraser one. I'm talking about the cartoon. But
Okay.
That was years
Brendan
later.
Fraser was Canadian, so they used the
Oh,
Canadian
really?
for the movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I can't remember where he's from, but okay. I've never seen this cartoon. You're a
Are
little
you
bit older than I am.
serious? See what I'm saying? Oh, yes, I'm
He's got a
older
butt
than you.
chin.
Oh, it should be on the TV there. I'm Dudley Do-Right.
He's got a butt chin, eh?
He does. He does have a butt chin, eh? You know
I
what
remember
mean?
seeing like ads for the movie for sure, the Brendan Fraser movie. I didn't see
Did that movie flop?
Probably.
I feel like
with all the respect to Brendan, I think he's a really nice, great actor. I think he's been in a lot of flops.
Doesn't he have a new project called The Whale coming out, right?
Yeah, a lot of hype behind that. Apparently his performance is great. The movie is meh. It's like based on a book.
Oh, I thought it was like I was so confused because I was like, why is he fat as hell? Is it a documentary?
He plays an obese man. I think he gained a fair amount of weight. Plus, they put so it's like an obese man who's like dying. He has like a week to live, and so he reconnects with his daughter or something. Yeah. Now we're talking about Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, baby. You know what I mean?
I don't know where he's from, but he's from Canada. I forget.
Canadian goat. All right. He could be from BC. I don't know. He could be from AD.
Oh, wow. He was born. He's an American Canadian actor, but he was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. So how's he Canadian? He went
Where'd you
up
get
there
that from? See,
so he said his mother was, and his father who worked in the Canadian Forest Services officer. So I guess he moved to Canada when he was a kid. He often moved from Eureka, California, Seattle, Washington, and Ottawa, Ontario. He attended Upper Canada College while in Toronto. Nice. That school was near where I grew up. Anyways, UCC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't go to a private school, but I knew where they were.
Yeah. Tell us anything.
I went to public school. I would never. I hate private school.
You hate private school? Why would you hate private school, man? You get to wear the same outfits every day. You don't have to worry about getting clowned on for not having enough money. You know what I mean? Have the latest shoes. You get great education.
That's a falsehood. That's a falsehood. They tell you do, but you're gonna get the same education anywhere you go. And what you will get in public school is less hand-holding.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But some people figure out how to get good grades on your own.
Some kids need extra attention, man. You know what I mean? I knew this dude that you know what I mean? He was like 15 in middle school.
He liked peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. It wasn't me, by the way, either, but it was a dude like 15. He could drive, and he was in middle school. I was like, dude, why is this dude still here? He in 8th grade. He's like 15, yo. I was like, yo, this ain't something ain't right about this. You know what I mean? Like this dude you shouldn't be driving to middle school. I'm just saying. And also maybe Canadian public schools are great, but in the South in America, not equivalent. You know what I mean? Like it's you up there trying to get
privatized healthcare, right? They don't really publicly fund things.
Man, I tell you, man, it's like, look, I'll take not having network TV out in my country, but one place that's public access over free healthcare. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'll freaking build my own studios there, okay, and start my own network. I don't need to, but I'll take the free healthcare any day.
Yeah, well, there's still negative things about the Canadian healthcare system too, but that's a story for another day.
Story for another day. Speaking of Canada, because we're still talking about Canada here, in your opinion, who has the most songs here? You love music and Canadian music. I didn't get this question in, but who you think has the most bangers, Drake or the Beatles? Drake has been on the chart.
I'm a classic rock guy, so I have to say personally, I think the Beatles have more. I think the Beatles are over hyped, but I would say the Beatles, unfortunately.
Didn't he break the Beatles record? Didn't he break the record? I feel like
you haven't answered this question, and you didn't want me to answer.
No, I'm just asking. No, I'm just saying. Didn't he? I really don't. I think, but who's really listening to the Beatles nowadays? I know, like they in the movies, right? They'll sample whatever these couple of songs.
A lot of people are. The documentary people got so hyped about, and it was not. I thought it was kind of boring.
I didn't watch the documentary. I haven't watched any. I'm really behind on musical documentaries. I know Freddie Mercury, all of them. I'm behind on the Wu-Tang documentary. I didn't have Showtime. I was waiting for somebody to give me a password.
I always think the Beatles get a lot of credit for what a lot of bands were doing at the time. That being said, I do like the Beatles. I just don't. I think they're a little bit over hyped.
Okay. But specifically though with this, you say the Beatles. I think Drake. I mean, it was just a time, man. 2009, and I was like, "Fuck." You never saw a good-looking rapper.
Yeah.
That was singing.
Yeah.
Like either you're rapping or you're singing. You're not doing both. All right. So then you was like if you harmonize, that's one thing. Like you were doing in the beginning, right? You do a little croon, little riff, right? You could play along with it. That's all right. But like no one really does that for a whole song. Drake was like straight up like singing. And then he was like rapping at a high level. And I didn't understand that. And I think I was still in New York at the time, or just got back from New York actually. And I was just like, what the hell? And this Canadian dude singing, he looks good, pause, and he's rapping at a high rate, not like corny rap. You know what I mean?
Good.
I was like,
he's
what
really,
the
really
hell?
Good.
I was like, what the hell? I just couldn't believe
he's just not
it,
like, it's just not necessarily my number one genre of music. So that's just my bias.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you still got to go for the hometown kid. You know what I mean? You still got it. No.
Right. I guess you do.
Alanis Morissette. Well, you don't know. I don't know. You know what? I guess for you though, do you get a lot of Drake questions? Were you here in LA? Have you had a lot of Drake? People
Drake's from there. Yeah, he is from Canada.
Right.
Ask me about John Candy. I'll give you more answers on John Candy.
Right. I get it. For me, before, historically, it was only one rapper that was mega famous enough from North Carolina. And everywhere I went, New York, Atlanta, South Carolina, not them, but anywhere else, Alabama. You from North Carolina? It was Petey Pablo. Oh, you know Petey Pablo? Petey Pablo, right? So he was the only one. Everybody I met that wasn't from North Carolina would say that, and it just get on my nerves. And then like, I'm like, all right, dog, okay. You know what I mean? No disrespect to him. We both was rapping at the same time. I was on the radio at the same time.
So there's low competition.
But I just didn't have a record deal, so it doesn't matter. I was just local. I just local rapper. He had a record deal. But then we got J. Cole. But now people are like, oh, you from North Carolina? J. Cole? Like, yeah.
Doesn't he play basketball?
He does. He does play basketball. I left Raleigh and moved out to LA, but apparently he lives in Raleigh, Wake Forest to be exact. And
he plays on a minor league team, right?
I don't know what he's doing now. I guess I thought he signed up for a Canadian team actually.
Yeah, my buddy went to go see him.
He signed up for the. See how we connected. See how me and you. I told you.
I was like, oh yeah, my buddy Isaac did go. He's like, he went to go see J. Cole. He's like, he's pretty good.
Yeah, because he went to the African League and he was booty in the African League. Then he was trying to get into the G League, NBA G League. He couldn't get into it. And then it was like last summer or last fall. It was like, oh, J. Cole signs with this Canadian basketball league.
Drake signed with the Raptors.
No. I'm sorry. Drake does his own league in his own house.
Drake joined the Raptors after we got good. That always pissed me off. I was like, we could have used Drake like 2 years before. because like he joined when we were like I don't know how much you know about basketball, but like the DeMar
Oh,
DeRozan, Kyle Lowry years, and
I'm
like
pretty sure I know all about Canadian basketball. All right.
so when the Raptors started to make the playoffs and like became a relevant team, that's when Drake jumped on board. We could have used them during the dark ages. We
But that's
really could have
just
during the Andrea Bargnani years.
right. That's such a Drake thing, though. That's how Drake is, man. I mean, I have a Drake story where I was driving Uber in LA. Thank God you don't have to do that right now. But I mean, I'm not driving Uber now. But I'm just saying this a couple years ago. I was driving Uber and I drove this girl, and she said that she had went to a party at Drake House in Calabasas, and the DJ they only have do they have only have a woman's bathroom? Something like that. It's something weird like that. They only have women's bathroom or something. But also the main weird thing is that the DJ could only play Drake and songs with Drake in them that he approves.
Was Drake there?
Yeah, I think he was there. Yeah, she was
because there's that Atlanta episode where he's not actually at the house. Do you know that one?
No, I haven't. I don't really watch it.
She's like, she keeps looking all over for him, and he's not even in the house.
that would be a Drake thing. But yeah, she was like, "Yo, Drake just plays. The DJ just played Drake funny. The whole time, and songs with Drake, and like he wasn't allowed."
Sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that Canadian ego, man. I guess.
OVO,
yeah, I don't know.
October's very own.
OVO, have you been to OVO Fest?
No. I go to Drake Night at the Raptors game a lot, and he doesn't sing. He just throws out stuff, and you get a T-shirt or whatever. It's not that. Not that. It's kind of underwhelming. He doesn't do because like his contract doesn't allow him to sing at halftime. You're like, wouldn't he just sing? Sometimes he goes over to the DJ booth and mixes some Drake songs, plays some
because
of his pre-recorded music. But you're not gonna. I was like, I thought we'd get a live like he. Sing a couple songs at halftime on Drake Night.
Now that it comes with a different price when you are artists that when you perform, because when you're doing a performance, then the record label I don't think he's in a maybe he's not in a 360 deal, but you got to give money to your performance. Some artists got to give money from their performance to the record label and stuff. And so it's just they got to pay him more, It's just like when artists go to the club, they could just walk through, right? They get paid for a walkthrough. But, I've been to some parties where the artist is on the flyer. They going to be there. They just walk through and leave. But I thought they was going to perform, like you say, like, wait a minute. They're not going to perform? It's like, nah, they just here. What? I got to watch them in the VIP pop bottles? What the hell? That's all I wanted to say about that. But Drake, it's enough Drake talk. Shouts out, I mean, I like rapping Drake. I don't like singing Drake. Shouts out to Chaclair, Cardinal Official, who shaped me as a young rapper. All right, Cardinal Official definitely shaped me as a young rapper, trying to get my skills up. So love those Canadian rappers, man. What you got coming up, man? Chili, what can the folks check you out at? Let us know your social medias. You got a web series. I heard you dropping skits. You got live shows. Where can you coming back to Canada? You be doing shows in Canada.
I might be going back to Canada in March. We'll see. I don't know. My sketch troupe got selected again to do Toronto Sketch Fest. So I can't guarantee that I'm going to make it back for it. But they're great anyways. Go see them. Boy, go party at Toronto Sketch Fest. If you're listen, I may or may not make a cameo. Flights are expensive, so we'll see. I'm finally doing that show that's probably not going to come out in time, but I'm doing that show that you did Only Half Wrong on Saturday.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh man, that's why
my first big booking, because it's I'm starting over down here, but otherwise you can follow me. Absolutely. It's I was like, I'll come and support Kenyon and also try to get a spot on the show. Comedians come to shows for two reasons. They support and then they can also get the booking. You can follow me at Chili Dog 44, CHLIDAWG 44. Wherever I post stand up there. I post any shows that I'm going to be doing. Sometimes I collaborate with other people on sketches and stuff like that. Hopefully doing more of that stuff and more improv and stuff around town. But on Twitter as well, same thing. Chili Dog 44, TikTok, same thing. I'm not big on TikTok, but I have some of the stand-up videos on there as well. So connect with me, follow me around town. whatever. I'll be on the subway. I take the subway.
What? Are you looking for stalkers?
Dude, actually, I feel more safe if someone followed me out of the subway because I don't feel that safe on there most of the time.
Man, these LA, nah, man, you're good in LA, man. This is nothing. I mean, there's some strange characters, but I would like to tell people when you ride public transportation, it is great character study. All right.
Oh my God.
Great character study. You got to write it down.
It's like people with knives, people throwing bottles, people screaming. The North Hollywood station, the other night I was like, I knew the train wasn't going to leave. So I was like, I'm just going to wait till the last second. And I kept walking from train to train being like, not this one. Okay, this is the one I feel that there's not a man actively sharpening his knife or throwing a bottle.
How late are you riding the train?
I try not to do it after 10 o'clock, but sometimes at like 9 or 9:30, it can get kind of hectic.
And it's
Toronto
like
just not that way.
It's not. And I've probably ridden on that train maybe about 5 or 6 times so far, but I did do it one time. 49ers came and I met those Canadian guys last year during this current NFL year. And I met them at a 49ers thing. They was coming to see a hockey game. And they was at a 49ers. They liked the 49ers somehow. And I rode later on that train that night. And it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? It was like me and like one other dude looking sketchy. I was like, damn, this is only 8 o'clock, you know?
Yeah.
8:30.
The ratios are totally opposite down here. Like in Toronto, you might be like, okay, there's one guy who's like a little suspicious, but there's like 10 of us that are, you know, of the right mind. So I don't feel that nervous or whatever. Whereas like the ratio is like maybe me and one other person are of the right mind. And there's 20 people who aren't, they smell terrible and we don't know what's going on. I wear my mask on the subway just to avoid the smell.
That's a requirement. That's definitely a requirement, just like getting maple syrup when you're in Canada. All right. Now it's a requirement. It's a requirement, man. It's fresh. That's where they made it at. All right. All right. Shouts out to RJ Barrett. You know what I'm saying? All right.
We love RJ. Come to Toronto.
Maple Jordan. You know what I mean?